Dude, it's real. Holy crap. Yeah, sorry, I had I had it on like, oh, I'm gonna get there for a while. I'm here now. That's all it counts, right? Thanks for hanging here again. That's cool. I haven't got to your email yet. I'll get to it eventually. I'm pretty tired today, so again, I know I said this. I said this last time, and then I ended up streaming like I don't know, what was it, almost 2 hours, like an hour and a half. Like, not this time. I'm gonna focus real hard, try to learn the rest of this piece, and then probably call it there. So I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You're always a day away. You know that one? Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, tomorrow. What? Oh, tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You're always a Okay. Oh wait, I needed that. Back to that grind. That sight reading grind. Okay, a little bit of review. Oh wait, where's my timer? My timer. I forgot about my timers. Okay. That read package has the same colors as a stick of RAM, and it's funny to imagine RAM just taped to your sheet music book. Yeah. I think I have. Oh shoot, you just gave me an idea. I think I have a stick of old RAM I could use. Oh, you know what's so funny? Have you heard of the RAM prices going up? Like, it's crazy with, I don't even want to talk about it. With yeah. The song didn't ring a bell, but I'm just a little uncultured in that way. Oh no, it's okay. It's, I don't know, I was kind of a drama kid, so it's like, Little Orphan Annie is a play slash movie slash, I guess, American culture thing, where like, it's kind of an older thing. I want to say the story was written like early 1900s and like readapted or something. It might have started as a book. I don't know. But I think that's where that song comes from. That's where, when I did plays when I was a kid, that's where that song was. So, yeah. Yeah, I've heard. And yeah, I've heard and a RAM manufacturer dropped out of the consumer markets. Yeah, wasn't that Crucial? I think it was Crucial, right? Man, Crucial was like the brand to go to, and they just dipped. They're like, I'm outie. I'm out of here. And it's so frustrating. It's like, it's frustrating because like economies are supposed to work like the consumer demand, and then they buy the things. But now the companies are so big and they have so much financial bandwidth that they're just like, you know what? We can just kind of subvert most consumers. And it's just like, is this a free market anymore? And it's sort of becoming like a global trend. It's kind of scary, but yeah, I could talk about economics for ages. Let's talk about music. I'm gonna look for that RAM stick because that's a funny idea. Hold on. Behold, my drawer of various parts from computers I took apart at some point. Well, it's not just computers. Like, this is an old SSD housing. This was from like a... Look, it's clicky. Like, you like ASMR or something? Like... No, I'm not that streamer. I'm not that kind of streamer. Although clicky noises are kind of fun, I will say. I do love me some clicky noises. They're just kind of fun. No harm in clicky noises. Oh yeah, my RAM sticks. These are like old, and like, even though stuff is like really expensive now, that's like for newer RAM. Older RAM is like, plus I think most of these RAM sticks are dead, which is sad, but yeah. And then I got little Wi-Fi card. I feel like I should play background music to this. play a chord. Here's a tech thing. Behold, another RAM stick. Then, ooh, that totally would work. Oh, I don't know if you just heard that. I ripped some of the notes off. Wow, I'm actually kind of embarrassed. It's the fact that I was so stupid to rip some of the notes off. Oh no. Okay. Luckily it's literally the same notes as the ones behind it. Wow, I feel really stupid. Well, now I kind of have to glue that. Oh. Look at how tiny. You can't. No, it's not showing up. It's this little paper. Because I'm dumb. Oh, no. Okay, it's gonna stay there. I'll probably glue it later. I don't need those notes. Oh, it's on the floor now. Okay, bye. This is actually better, because, like... Oh no, this is a 4 gig stick. I actually care about this. Okay, this one's a 2 gig one. There we go. This is actually better, because it's flat. So it creates, like, a more distinct line for my eyes. So, it was a goated suggestion right there. Unironically. I have all kinds of gizmos in here. Like, most of it's useless, but, like, it's still fun to look at. I got this. This was like an alarm thing, like Alexa thing, that I got from a friend that they didn't want anymore. So I tore it apart, as you do. When I got old laptop RAM, 256 megabytes. Whoa, we're beating records with that one. I might just keep this one here because I like this. It's kind of fun. He's gonna go right there. Okay. Alright, now it's time to actually practice. Okay, a little bit of review. Now that it's 12. It's okay, I played the piano a little bit. A little bit of review, and then let's see. I should set a goal for this practice because I don't want to practice too long because I'd like to not go to 1 a.m. 12:30 is probably fine. So like 30 minutes. So I should set a goal. I'm going to review this up to here. And then learn from here to I guess probably the spot that I ripped the paper off from. See if I should have like I thought I had like some kind of glue. I mean, I have hot glue, but that's not quick. It takes a while to heat up, so I'll just have to remember that this is underneath here. This is octave. I think that's an octave. C. A, C, E. E flat. Oh. Wait. No, those are the same notes, right? So that's just going. I guess I'm practicing now. F, G. Why does this hurt my brain? F, A, C, E. It's so embarrassing I have to count out the letters still, and I've been playing piano for 7 years. But it's basically just because I haven't practiced it, so no matter how long you've been playing for, you don't get better at something unless you practice it. So, because ultimately the metric of whether or not you get good at something shouldn't really be years, it should be hours, because hours are far more precise, because you could spend a whole year and put in like, I don't know, 50 hours, and then the next year you put in 300 hours because you practiced an hour a day. So it's like the difference is immense. So it's just kind of ridiculous to look at years and when you should be looking at hours. Anyways. So this. Oh, it was that one. So. Have you heard the thing where like you can detune the third? you can detune the third, and it like you make it like perfectly in tune according to like just intonation. It's something I've really obsessed over. But if I sing this note, so I don't know. How you know you got it right is you should play the third here, and your voice, you can like feel the vibrations in your chest of like the beats, because you're singing a note slightly lower than the C. That one. I think that one was it. You hear? It kind of doesn't fit. See, then I was singing that note. It's really hard to do, but it's just kind of a fun little thing. Because to me, when you detune the third just a little bit, because that's actually according to physics, how the sound waves interact with each other, then they, like, I forget, it's like perfect numbered intervals. Kind of like the reason the fifth sounds so good, it sounds so strong, is because of like the numeric interval that the notes are. But then to get equal temperament, where you could play any note in any key and it's like generally in tune, we had to like make some compromises. So singing the third slightly flat makes it sound best to our ears according to like physics. Why is this tape? So, yeah, I've not ever really researched into it. Since as a primary electronic musician, I can't really mess with tuning all that much. Oh, interesting. I've always wondered like what kind of electronic music do you make? Because to me, what the computer represents in music is like an immense amount of endless possibilities. Like I've always wondered, what if you made a keyboard that, because we have computers, that like you play a major chord and it automatically recognizes, oh, that's a major chord, I'm going to detune the third, right? Same thing with like if you play a dominant seventh, I'm pretty sure it's either supposed to be slightly sharp or slightly flat. So then like you make a keyboard that recognizes it, oh, and then it changes it. So that each chord you play, no matter the key, the computer tunes it for you real time. And that to me seems only possible with computers. So I've always wondered like if somebody develops a software to do that, then I think that would be really cool. It'd be almost like auto-tune for your keyboard. But like in a good way. I kind of I have some opinions on autotune. I think it's fine if like that, if you want the ultra polished sound, but you shouldn't use it to like if you're I don't think you should use it to cover up if you're a bad singer. You should just use it like a vocal effect. But it's kind of an interesting topic. I think autotune is definitely used too much, though. I would say that for sure. I didn't see the rest of what you said. When it comes to tuning systems, I'm really only interested in the standard European system or things that are really strongly microtonal like 31 Edo. Yeah, I've heard about 31 Edo. It has a really interesting sound. I think my problem with 31 Edo though is that like while some chords sound like buttery smooth, sometimes like you add the higher notes and I'm just kind of like, it doesn't sound so good anymore. But like the buttery smooth warm mid-tones with like one bass frequency, like here in the keyboard, perfect. Anything that's just a different flavor of Western harmony just seems like a bit superfluous sometimes. I guess I could see that, yeah. Um, when I said that, I meant more like I'm a musician that works digitally, and I wouldn't really say anything I make is really electronic in its genre. It's like pseudo orchestral post rock. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I kind of like my timer's sitting here going. um, which is a super pretentious way to describe my music, but I like how it sounds, huh? Yeah, I don't think that's pretentious. I think you're just looking for the right words. It's kind of hard to explain the music you like and encapsulate that into just a couple words. So I get it. It'd be like the kind of music I like is jazz, fusion, J-pop, maybe prog rock or indie rock, something or other. That would be like maybe funk, throw in funk there. Maybe throw in a little bit of R&B and soul. just put it all in a little mixing pot, blend it together, and then that's boom. That's the music I want to make. So yeah, I get it. John says hola, hello, John. Fu are you? It is cool to see new people. If you're listening, John, we're here just kind of talking, and I'm supposed to be practicing. That's what this was for. So I'm gonna focus up and get back to practicing. So, anyways. Now I start my timer. I've stopped it and started it like 3 times now. Okay, I'm now practicing. Okay. That's not it. I should be nailing this. I've been practicing this for like the past week. Hablas español? I'm trying to think of. I took Spanish for 2 years in high school, and I'm really sorry. I don't remember anything. uh, it's probably another botted account. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, maybe not. Well, I don't know. I don't. I don't know Spanish well enough to really read or speak very much. I know like muy bien and like a couple other phrases. I just another phrase came into my head. I'm like, wait, no, that's Japanese, not Spanish. Yeah, I basically forgot all the Spanish I know. I'm sorry. Clap. I clapped. It's kind of late where I am, so I maybe shouldn't clap very loud. But I did it. I did the thing. I did a thing. Isn't that a YouTuber? Have you seen his videos? He like builds crazy stuff. He's like Australian. He's like, hey guy. No, go job me for you, man. Sorry, I can't read Spanish. Mu, buen trabajo. Is trabajo, is that, I think that's work? So good work? Thanks? Oh, good job, gracias. Gracias. Tu pronunciación es buena. Gracias, amigo. Gracias. I'm trying. I'm trying my best here. How do I say practicing in Spanish? Like, is it like practica or something? I seem to remember something like that. I could be. Is it practica? Okay. So how would I say I need to practice? Be like, yo soy, I don't remember. No inglés, lo siento. Is okay. That's okay. Oh, necesito practicar. That. Me. Necesito practicar. I'm gonna go do that. Yay! I'll just say it's really cool. It's really cool that there's so many new people, and like it makes me really happy. Oh man, how do I say happy? Happy in Spanish. Try looking it up. Feliz? Oh, it's like Feliz Navidad. Isn't that Merry Christmas? So. Yay. I'm remembering all of my my bits and pieces, my Spanish in high school. Alright. I need to focus. I keep distracting myself away from the difficult thing, which is practicing. Okay. Necesito practicar. Yay. 2, 3, 1, 2. I guess if you wanted to say it all, it could be Me hace feliz que han entrado tantas personas. It makes me happy so many people have come in. Cool. I'm learning something. I think languages are super cool. I've always appreciated like when somebody can fluently speak 2 languages, because there's like a story behind that, how they learned that. So I mean, that's partially why I'm trying to learn Japanese. It's like I kind of want to know what that's like, to be able to see the world in 2 different perspectives, because each language carries its own cultural perspective and like view of the world. so it can help give you new ideas and like new perspectives and things like that. Because each language kind of prioritizes different things. So, hablas piano. Sí. I speak piano. Speaking of which, I'm gonna practicar. Oh. Muy bien, puedes tocar Mozart. Puedes. What is puedes? Puedes. Can. Oh, can I play Mozart? Is that what you're saying? Oh, puedes tocar Mozart. No. Sadly. Wait, how do I say sadly? Sad. Okay, Google Translate says desafortunadamente. Desafortunadamente. Sadly, I cannot play. No Mozart. No hay problema. Okay. Two, three, four. 1, 2. Okay, I did it. It's that. So much variety in the streams lately. Very fun. I know, right? It's so much fun. How do I say fun? Wait, fun. Divertido? Divertido. Fun. I'm having fun. Also, I know you're trying to focus and end earlier today, but if you wouldn't mind one sidetrack, I'm curious to run an experiment. I'm okay with experiments. Probably, I'm gonna try running through this to my little marker again, like where I was trying to review to, and then yeah, I think that would be fun. But yeah, so let me try to sight read this, and then I'm open to some experimentation. I think that would be fun. Dang it. change there. Three. See, I can play it now, but I'm not looking at the notes. This is so frustrating. 2, 3. So what is that? B flat minor. I can play it now, I just can't sight read it. 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay, I did it once. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'm getting to a point where I'm realizing I can learn hymns from the music, but maybe hymns are too difficult for me right now. So I have this other book. Because if I'm being realistic, I've spent how many days? So like 30 minutes each trying to get through this, and I haven't been focused enough to get past like here. So I have this other book that is like a lot more simple that I probably should do more of. Because I could, this book, I don't know if you can see the notes. Not really. This book, oh, now you kind of can. It's like, I could burn through this whole book in like a couple streams probably, and I just would need to get more books and more stuff like this to practice. So I don't know, maybe I'll do that. I think I'm gonna focus on the hymn more today. I'll do the hymn more. But oh, I'm missing a lot of messages. Basically, I was messing around with some chords earlier, and I wonder how differently you'd interpret the progression if I just gave you the chord names. Yeah, that would be interesting. And then John said, ChatGPT, sure, you can say it like this in English. Oh, does this piano have touch sensitivity? Let's see. I think what you said says, can I ask this question in Spanish? Este piano tiene sensibilidad al tacto. Does it have touch sensitivity? Yes. Sí. So when it's quiet with a little bit of force, and then louder with more force. So yes. You're welcome. I'm forgetting so many things. You're welcome. But I want to find it in Spanish. Español. De nada? Is that correct? I don't want to say something wrong. Oh, sí. Yay! Google Translate is not always right, so I'm always weary of that. De nada, sí. Yay. Alright. But yeah, Mister, you could type in the chords if you want, and I'll see what I come up with that. Some chords earlier, I was wondering how differently you'd interpret the chord progression if I gave you the chord names. Yeah, so just put in the chord names and I'll see what I can do. In the key of C sharp minor, so you have C minor to B, 6/9, sus4, add 2. C sharp minor to B, 6/9. Do you want the 6 there? sus4. So you could put it in a cluster voicing like this. That'd be what this is called. But this to me kind of starts just sounding like an E with like some fancy, right? It's just kind of the same notes. So a lot of the times, this is all technically the notes. I would, because you don't technically have the third there, but the third is normally like what defines the chord. So, and you got the 9. sus4. Add 2. Which I guess the 2... So the 2 and the 9 are more or less the same. You could do cluster voicing, or you could like... let's see... So I'm taking voice leading into account. This would more or less be kind of the same chord. So now I'm going to see where it goes next. So I think I kind of see why you're having this sus4 and that add 2. Because it means basically the only thing that changes is just these bass notes. A sharp minor 7. A sharp minor 7. This is kind of... Maybe I should have my timer going, because like this is actually helping me plot things out and like learn how to get familiar with the notes more. So I'm like learning right now. So that's one of the things I'm trying to do, is not be too hard on myself. I'm like, no, I have to practice this thing, and I'm only going to count my practice time as like when I'm doing this specific thing. It's like I'm spending time at the piano. So like, as long as the main thing I've learned about to make sure I'm learning something is if I'm uncomfortable. So if I feel discomfort, then I'm learning something. And like trying to pick out this chord progression is kind of uncomfortable. But it's a good uncomfortable, because I'm curious what it'll sound like. So we've got these first two ones. A sharp minor 7. minor 7, flat 6, flat 5. Minor 7, flat. I'm getting kind of stuck on the flat 6, so 1, 2, 3. That'd be the flat 6. That would be no. That would be a flat 5. That would be a flat 6, technically. But what you have here is just a E dominant chord. So it'd be an E dominant chord over a sharp. And then you go, okay. And actually that does work. Because then you go to A major 7, add 6. So instead of defining that bass, so you kind of see what that's doing. So in total, you've got something like that. Yeah, honestly, this seems like a really good practice, and if I had more songwriter friends, I'd really like to practice just playing chord progressions. Yeah, I think it's something cool to do. The alterations on the A sharp just make sure all the other chord tones are in the scale, since otherwise it'd be very out of key, very out of the key of C sharp minor. I think if I had one suggestion to like maybe your songwriting process, is that it feels like you sort of lock into, like, I'm gonna play in this key, and then you're like only using notes from the key. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think often music kind of doesn't stick to a key, especially like classical music. Classical music has like a starting key, and then it'll kind of like dance around to different key centers. But in order to dance around to different key centers, you have to use different notes from other keys. So like, one thing my music teacher taught me is a 5 of 5. So if I'm in the key of, let's say, A major, because that's like where you resolve to, a 5 of 5, so I actually have, let me see if you can see it, the circle of fifths here. It's kind of at a bad angle, but 5 of 5, actually, let me see. Here, let me point it to the keyboard. Let me play it first, and then I'll take my camera off so I can show you. But so let's say you're in the key of A, and then you play the 5 chord, which would be E. But then what's the 5 chord of E? That would be B, right? So now this note is not in the key of A, right? But it actually sounds good and you resolve back to the key of A if you do like this. Right? So you can... That doesn't entirely work. You see how like the difference between this is kind of like, it's fine, versus... Right? I mean, most of my other music is much more diatonic, honestly. Even just doing that A sharp is like, wow, I'm feeling spicy today, and we went one whole note out of the scale. Yeah. Yeah, and that's okay too. Diatonic, I think diatonic can be cool. There's a lot of stuff you can still do with diatonic stuff. So you have like... Wait. One of a main like tool you can use is the diminished chord. Because guess what happens when you... I don't know if you've heard of Jacob Collier. This is a thing he talks about all the time. As well as I want to say Barry Harris too. I might be wrong about that one. But he had like some kind of theory around this chord that I just forgot the name of. I'm feeling kind of silly that I forgot. Diminished, yeah, okay. The diminished chord, you can change one note. Let's change this note. Well, now I'm at a C dominant 7, which resolves to not that. Well, it can. But normally resolves to F, right? And that was from a G diminished chord. So from a G diminished chord, you could go here, here, right? And then let's move a different note. Oh, that's kind of more interesting. So what my ear is telling me is that it's an inversion of a chord I forgot the name of, but it's this one. I forgot the name of this chord. It's a dominant 7 with the 9. Dominant 7 with the 9. There's a specific name for it. I'm just totally blanking. Man, I'm really rusty on my theory. Let's skip that one for now. So back over our diminished chord. If we move it down, so if just from G diminished, move one note down, then you can get to D. So in the chords, I understand. Not this one, or not, dang it, I want to know what this is called. So you could actually treat that more like an A diminished as well. Just a fancier A diminished. Or, sorry, not diminished, A dominant 7. Yeah, A7. for short. So again, back to the diminished. Then back to the diminished. Let's move this note up. See where that goes. Again, a very similar chord to this one. Except I think this is kind of a minor chord. So yeah, this is like a G minor with the 6. So I can see it resolving there. Okay, let's try moving the top note. What's that note? There we go. So if we move the E down to an E flat, then that would resolve to A flat. So, and then let's just do the bottom note too. If we put the bottom note down one, then now we're at F sharp dominant 7, which then resolves to B. Right? So just from this one diminished chord, we kind of have like 4 different pathways. It's like a fork in the road, which kind of makes sense because it's like 4 notes. It's kind of a coincidence, but so diminished chord, go down 1, B, right? And then diminished chord, down 1, F. And then diminished chord, down 1, A flat. It took me like, how long was that? Like 10 minutes? Oh, whenever you hit me up on Discord or whatever, or you read that email, I can send you my version of this progression. Yeah, that'd be cool. Let me actually go back to trying to play it. I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? I wonder if I've ever just accidentally used an inversion of a diminished chord because I feel like I've never used one in root position. Yeah, so with diminished chords are interesting because there isn't, whereas like most chords you have 12 keys, right? Like you have this, and those are all G, right? And then you do that 12 times for 12 keys. With diminished chords, it's like, this is a G diminished, but if I take this note and I move it down, guess what this is? It's an E diminished now. But it's the same notes. Oh. So that's why a diminished chord is so useful, is because it's basically like several different like key names of like quote, where are my hands? Quotes. It's like several different key names of chords in one diminished chord. So like these 4 notes are both a G diminished chord and an E diminished chord and a C sharp diminished chord and a B flat or A sharp diminished chord. It's all 4 of those in one chord because it uses the same notes. So, or the other way to see it is like these are different inversions of a G diminished. And typically the way that you distinguish between the two, whether it's just an inversion or whether it's like a different letter name, is like if I had a drone tone, like a droning note, a pedal tone in the bass of a G, then those would all be G diminished. Versus if I had an E, those would all be an E diminished, right? So you've probably used an inversion of a diminished chord. You feel like you've never used one in root position. You've probably used one at some point because it's a really great tension tool. Also, you can't have an inversion of a diminished chord that isn't itself a diminished chord. Yes, that's a good way to see it. Which actually means I think there's technically only 2 or 3 diminished chords. So let's see. We have this one. And then we have this one. Right. And then we have this one. And then if you go down a half step again, then you get, yeah. So there's actually only three diminished chords that actually exist, and it's just these 3. Those 3 sets of notes. Which, again, actually I don't think I said this, but music is math, and so you can actually just mathematically lay that out. 3 makes sense because there's 12 notes, and each chord uses 4 notes, so 12 divided by 4 is 3. So there's 3 diminished chords. You might a thumbs up. Oh, how do I orient the thumbs up so they look like thumbs up? There we go. So it makes a lot of sense how you describe it as a modal pivot, since each chord exists in so many keys. But I just can't get over the sound. Maybe I'm a baby and can't handle tension. You know what's interesting is I had a friend from high school. He was the same way. He was just like, "Nah, I hate tension. And I'm just like, "What?" And so even like he'd listen to Bach and like some of Bach's more tension-y kind of stuff, and he's just like, eh. I'm like, what? It's even like classical music and you don't like it? So you would not be the first person that I have interacted with that doesn't really like tension. It's sort of like I want to say an acquired taste. Like it's it kind of like gives you perspective on the stuff that sounds good, like generically, or that's not the right word, generally, standardly, I don't know what word to use. It gives you like a nice perspective on stuff that like, yeah, generally sounds good and nice and acceptable. But then when you throw in consonant, yeah, like when it's consonant and like acceptable, sounds pleasant to the ears. But when you add tension, even though it doesn't feel good, it's the part that feels good is going from here to there. That's the part that really feels good. So you don't necessarily have to like tension to still use tension, because the tension is not really the goal. The goal is this. But you have to think of music like storytelling. You have to tell a story, right? And every good story has a villain, right? So you can almost think of the tension in music as sort of the villain in a weird way. I don't exactly see it like that, but if it helps the analogy, then maybe you could see it like that. to where like you don't want the villain to win, right? So you don't just sit here because this feels weird. It feels unresolved. It feels like there's something missing, and it's kind of just not how the world works. Like how the world works is that we generally like to see good win, right? And when people don't see that happen, it just kind of puts a weird feeling in your chest. It's just kind of like, right? So if you stay here, like, of course that's going to be not nice to listen to. But what's nice to listen to is hearing the story of, you could think of each note as like a little person that's like wandered away from home. Oh no, I'm away from home. And then, oh, now they're back home. Right? So we want the notes to come home, but we have to tell the story of them being away from home first before they come home. So, yeah. But I kind of like seeing, it helps me stay interested in music to see each little note as like having its own little personality. Maybe that's weird. Maybe that's a weird little habit I have. But it helps me when developing chord progressions, because then I literally ask myself, where does this little person that's a little note, where does he want to go, or he or she or whatever, right? Where does this little note want to go? And then I try to guide the little note through its little journey so it can make its little way back home, right? And that's typically why when you're making chords, you want to do leading tones. Typically are chromatic and they go like half steps, because it flows the best, and you think of it like a little story. They're walking a little path, right? So typically a path doesn't have very big jumps in it. It's weird because there's like a weird line between regular dissonance and the sound of diminished, because I love dissonance. Oh, okay, so you like dissonance. Like, I love dissonance, like putting half-step intervals everywhere. Half-step. Oh, yeah. Like this kind of stuff. Like, I've used like a weird sus sharp for C, F sharp, and G, and it's super sick. C, F sharp, and G. Oh, like this? So you like tension that's kind of like where the notes are right next to each other. That's interesting. I really like those kind of harmonies too, because to me it kind of a lot of things in life are not black and white, and like this to me feels like sort of black and white, where it's like either tense or not tense. That's just typically not how things in life work. So I'm with you there too. I like these kind of harmonies because a lot of things in life are kind of muddy and grimy and like not necessarily clearly defined, and like a lot of struggles in life are like that. And so that's why like major seventh chords have that tension there, but then when you add in the nice consonant harmony of the major chord, it gives this nice kind of melancholy sound that I think represents a large portion of life. And I think that's kind of why I've also always been drawn to that sound, because it feels more real to me in a way, where this just feels really cookie cutter. This feels like more realistic. Which I guess that explains my draw to jazz, because that's most of jazz. Jazz is like I mean, it's like this, the one I played the other day. It's kind of resolved. We're kind of home, but I just kind of like sitting here. Not quite dissonant, but it's just kind of like it's a chord that to me makes you think. But in jazz, a lot of stuff like that happens where you end and it's not necessarily completely entirely resolved, because again, most things in life, when you've resolved something, it's not always completely, totally, perfectly resolved, because life isn't perfect, right? And I think it's so cool, the fact that you can dig into the theory behind jazz, and jazz basically represents life fairly accurately in that way. Maybe it also shows in how I use seventh chords and sixes so often. Yeah, I think so too. Because the six is like, it's kind of like a more sparkly version of the major chord, which again, to me, just a plain old major chord is like, it's cool, it's fine, but it feels too cookie cutter. But you add in like a little sparkle, and then now you have like the stars at night, right? Which are, stars at night don't sound like this. Stars at night sound like this to me. So, yeah. I think that kind of gets into like impressionistic music too. Like just the seventh and the sixth together sound really dissonant, but in the context of a minor chord, they go together well. The seventh and the sixth together. Seventh and sixth of a minor chord, they go well together. Maybe I'm not quite understanding. Seventh and sixth. Because this would be a minor sixth chord to me. And a minor seventh chord would be that. Unless you're talking about this. A flat six. Yeah, I think that's one of the sticking points I'm having about your terminology, because as far as I understand, I think, at least with jazz, they typically don't ever call something a flat six. They just, that just kind of makes it a different chord. Let me look it up actually. There's like flat five, flat five, sharp five, and things like that. But let me look it up. What mode has a flat six? Flat sixth. And I guess maybe people use it. I don't know if I see it is telling. I hate how Google is like forcing AI as the first thing that comes up. The AI response says that a flat 6 is a thing, but then it proceeds to give examples of flat 9s and flat 13s, which I recognize. And the only thing I'm seeing of a flat 6 is a scale. So sometimes there's a flat 6 in a scale, but the flat 6 in a chord is kind of confusing me. Every chord is built by another third. Minor flat 6. Minor flat 6 chord. Let me see what you said. Flat 6. That's it. I think I just wanted to note I like that sound. Wikipedia has a part of an article on the minor flat 6th chord. Minor flat 6th chord. If you go to the Wikipedia article for minor 6, you can see it. Minor 6. To be honest, I just got a whole lot tired right now, so my brain kind of hurts. I think I'm going to look more into that tomorrow. My timer says I have a whole 10 minutes of practicing. And I do actually want to try getting through to at least to here, which I said last time was like what I had done. I want to try getting through that and actually looking at the notes before ending stream. That's pretty much been my personal justification for using it since I figured, oh, if it was worth putting on Wikipedia, it's probably a normal enough chord to use. Yeah, that's a fair reasoning, but link? Did you send a link? If that link works. I don't see a link. I'm not sure if links work in YouTube live stream chats. I could be wrong, but I don't see a link anywhere. I don't know where to change settings to allow it, but even if I could, I probably wouldn't because I don't want to get bots posting stuff. So, oh well. Yeah, I mean, as long as things are referenced in Wikipedia, I'm fine with like Wikipedia as a reference. But Wikipedia can be modified by anybody, so it could have been something added. It's hard telling how much it's used, but that's still fair reasoning to say if it's on Wikipedia, it's probably important, right? It's hurting my brain because like when you have a minor chord. Actually, I think this has a this should have like a chord thing. It tells you what the chords are. I actually have this keyboard hooked up to GarageBand too. I don't know if that'll mess with the stream though. It hurts my brain why you want to put the major sixth in it. I guess the difference between what you're hearing and probably what I'm hearing in my head is when I hear this chord, I'm not just hearing that chord, if that makes sense. So when I hear this chord, I'm actually hearing other chords that will happen after it or before it. And because that context is just like ingrained in my head, it's fundamentally built in from all the input from listening to music I've had, then I'm not just hearing this chord at face value. I'm hearing all the potential, all the pathways it can go. So it by itself does kind of feel weird, but I'm not just hearing the chord. So like, for example, I'm hearing this can go to here, right? Something like that, or... Oh, that didn't work. Man, my music teacher told me this chord is called something and I forgot what it's called. It's like you said, I stick to a scale way too much. When I'm playing that A minor flat 6, for example, I'm most likely doing an arpeggio in the key of A minor. Yeah, I can see that. That. I could see that. So there's no real motion because it's about the melody line. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you'd have like this. That's kind of what I like doing. So I think melody lines are cool, just staying on one chord. But eventually I just get bored and I'm like, I want to go somewhere. So it's my incessant need to keep getting something new that kind of makes me do that. There's just wait, where I need to catch up. Where am I? You'll see it when you listen to my stuff in that email later. There's like an entire song that's just in the chord, just the chord of G. Yeah. But the voicings make it interesting. Yeah, that's something I haven't actually practiced very much. Is like just creatively limiting myself to just voicings and seeing what I can do with that. Oh, dude, that was sick. I hope I can reach that improv level soon. Oh, thank you. I think you can. It's just a matter of um, when you sit at the piano thinking to yourself, um, just I think of everything as like just asking questions, right? So basically, what I did is I was sitting here, and kind of what I showed earlier. This was a pathway that worked, but I just would sit at the piano and for hours and hours just ask myself questions of like, this sounds good, but where can it go? What are the possibilities? So I'm constantly asking myself questions, and you have to experiment and not be afraid of something sounding awful. So I'm gonna experiment with this chord and just think, if I change one note, what is it gonna sound like? So I'm gonna try changing this note. That doesn't really sound good, right? It's kind of weird. It's a weird chord. I don't even know if it has a name. But I just incessantly do that until I kind of generally find patterns of stuff that I think sounds cool. Personally, I like it. It's a weird chord. It's an acquired taste, I think, and it does have a use, probably. I think every chord, every pattern has a use, but it's like, it'd be used sparingly, right? But yeah, that's basically how I approach. And I think it's something anybody can learn. So I think you could learn it too. And maybe I'm biased because I've been technically playing the piano for 7 years. I put that all in quotes because it's like, to me, it doesn't feel like it. And also, I never was very focused about practicing. So it doesn't feel real to me. But if you want to learn how to improvise like that, then it's a matter of, yeah, I already said this, but it's just staying curious, I guess, right? And if you stay curious and just, even if a question feels ridiculous, just if out of principle, even if that's the only reason, still try to answer that question. Try to find an answer. And if you can't find an answer to that question, that's totally fine. Because the principle here you want to maintain in your mindset, the thing you want to maintain in your mindset is just simply asking questions, period. Always asking questions. So even if a question feels ridiculous, just ask it anyways. And try to find the answer again, even if it feels ridiculous, because that's often when you find the coolest ideas. Is like, wow, this feels like a really dumb question, and then you ask it anyways, find an answer to it, and then you're like, wow, that was actually something I never would have thought of if I never followed through with that question. So, I mean, you can see me doing stuff like that with how that chord progression, like you mentioned, just had the most movement in the bass and the extensions stayed mostly still. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I mostly meant inventing that melody line on the go. That'd take me ages to get to. Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't have the mechanical skill to travel the scale and the different octaves so fluidly. Yeah, that's something that, so everything I said about curiosity and like staying curious and things like that still all applies, but it's kind of hard to be curious when your hands won't physically let you move a certain way, right? So with something like that, the other thing I incessantly did over the 7 years of playing the piano, like the first couple years of playing, I practiced the heck out of scales. Like It was like some autistic hyperfixation of mine to just scales. So every time I'd sit at the piano, I'm going to turn it down because they're kind of loud, actually. I just would... all 12 keys, and then minor scales. So those are the kind of things that's like, if you practice those incessantly and put like many hours into those, so that you can have the freedom to just, if you wanted, it's the capacity, even though you're not going to do that all the time, simply having the freedom to do that gives you more choices. And so it does kind of suck, and like, it is the unfortunate answer of like, yeah, you kind of just got to practice. I'm sorry. But that's kind of why. Yeah. I mean, the other side is developing your ear. So I don't know where your ear is at, but the first step is hearing something in your head. So the fact that my hands can physically move like that is a facet of scales and stuff, right? But the reason I was able to come up with that on the fly is because of my ear, right? So I guess a way to train that would be sing something before you play it. So I'll do the same thing, but I'll sing a melody, and if you can sing it, you can play it, right? So anyways, I don't know where your ear's at. You'd know if you heard those songs. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll check your email eventually. I think I'll have a chance tomorrow. I can't guarantee. I think I can. Excuse me. I think I can at least check it. I don't know if I'll respond yet though, because like, I don't know what it is about text. Like, ironically, I'm talking to you right now just fluidly, but there's something about text that I overthink, so I typically take way too long to respond to things. So I'll probably read it and then not reply yet, and then yeah, it's a little weird thing I have, but yeah, I'll try to do that. But and I think the other reason, talking about like what I just did, singing, I think it's also kind of because of scales, because when you practice scales, you're not just practicing with your hands, you're also ingraining the sound of a scale in your head. And so my ear, practicing scales did two things for me. It helped my hands and it helped my ears know what scales sound like. So it means like when I'm singing, I just kind of, it's like throwing spaghetti at a wall. I'm seeing what notes stick, and then I'm kind of like taking a mental note. Okay, that note stuck, that one didn't. That one kind of was interesting, that one wasn't. So, happens to me too, for sure. I've been trying to get better, but I still leave people on red for days. Yeah. All right, it's 1:30, almost 1:30. You know, I just realized something. Okay, what did you realize? And then I think I'm gonna end stream because I gotta sleep. What did you realize? I'm waiting with bated breath. Even when I go and do something non-diatonic, you can kind of see how much I'm still hanging on to the scale. Interesting. Yeah. Cause like when you go through a progression, you say, "Oh, we're moving to this other key." Yeah, and then you use the scale in that other key. Right. I can kind of see what you're saying. Um. Oh, but I'm like, I just moved to the Phrygian mode of the scale I was already in. Yeah, that's another way to use it. So you can see it in terms of modes. That's a way to see it in. I remember my music teacher was cautioning me about modes when in reality it's like you're in the key, you just use the notes of the key. I forgot what her thing was about modes. I personally like modes because they tell you this is your home base. Like if I played this scale, I forgot what it's called, but it's a different mode. It means that my home base is still C, but now I've just got that F sharp, right? That's why I like moving modes, or using modes. But, yeah. I think, honestly, dude, like, a lot of where my ear comes from is from being obsessed with Jacob Collier. I'm gonna be real. Because he talked about, like, his super, hyper, ultra, meta Lydian scale, or whatever, where you just you keep stacking thirds like this. You can just kind of keep doing that. It alternating between major and minor thirds. And then when I heard that, I was like, "Whoa, that's so cool." And then just because I kept being obsessed with Jacob Collier, I watched a bunch of interviews he did, some master classes that he posted on YouTube. And I just kind of obsessed over how does he perceive music. And there's a couple key things that he does, like a couple key mindsets that worked really well to develop my ear. And it's kind of hard for me to reflect back those mindsets without telling you to just go watch a bunch of videos of Jacob Collier. But yeah, basically just go watch a bunch of videos on Jacob Collier, and I think that probably could help. Yeah, exactly. When you change modes and not keys, you're still gravitating around the same root. Change modes and not keys, you're still gravitating around the same note, or same root, yes. Which lets me continue playing the same chord root in different modes. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It's like it gives when you put it in a different mode, it kind of gives it a different flavor. Because really, minor scales and minor chords are just a mode. Well, you have major and minor chords, definitely, but the minor scale is just the Aeolian mode. So, technically, if Western music was different, who knows, we might have used the Phrygian mode just as much as the Aeolian mode. And maybe our Phrygian mode would be like our new minor scale because it was just as common or something. So, yeah, I could see what you're saying. But ultimately, you can kind of think of everything as based on the major scale and just modifications to it. I'm a major scale truther. Everything is actually a modification of my beloved minor scale. Major scale truther. So you see everything as like based on the minor scale rather than the major scale. That's interesting. I was joking with that one because a truther is generally a derogatory term for someone that doesn't believe something obvious. Okay. Like a moon landing truther doesn't believe the moon landing happened, even though obviously it did. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I do use the minor scale 500% more than the major. Okay. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, some things I just don't pick up on. I'll just kind of be like, But yeah, that makes sense. It's 1:30 a.m. I think I'm gonna go to sleep now. This is cool. I have to kind of rethink because I'm not really getting much practice done. I have to rethink these live streams. I do like the live streams. They are fun, but maybe I should rethink of them as not the practice time, but just the see where it takes me time. Like the inspiration. So I'll have to kind of think about that. Because like one of my main thought processes is commit to something, adjust, commit to something, adjust. So I've committed to live streaming every day except Sundays. So that Sunday is like a break, give it a little reset, tackle the next week, right? But it was supposed to be for real dedicated, focused practicing. But honestly, I like talking with people, with you and other people that join in the stream, and just having a little banter about music, because I think that's really fun. It keeps me inspired, which is something I really struggled with over the last year and a half. So staying inspired is really important, but also practicing is really important. So I don't know. This was supposed to be to log my practice so I can keep track of it. But honestly, it's okay if I don't get that. It's okay if this just turns into a fun stream. I just kind of have to keep going, because I might also get tired of talking so much, and because to be honest, somebody like you is pretty rare. Somebody that actually stays on the stream for so long and actually talks back and forth. So if you're not here, then I'd probably I might get more practice done. No, not your fault, but because I'm having fun, so I'm choosing to talk. I should probably read what you're saying. You wanted to do one more run of the sheet music like 20 minutes ago, but maybe you're too tired at this point. Yeah, I'm too tired. I feel like I'm a bit at fault, frankly, but I also like talking. Yeah, I just said that. I was just talking about that. Not your fault. I'm the one choosing to talk. So, I take responsibility for my yapping. But it might mean, like, because I only have so much to talk about, I guess. And, like, once you know about most of, like, my thought processes and stuff, it doesn't make sense to keep repeating it. And it might get really old to me to keep repeating that to people as new people come in. If they do, that's the thing. If they do, uh, I don't know. So I think I'm gonna keep streaming, seeing what practice I can get done. But I might start. Yeah, I think I'll start doing that. I think I'll start doing my practice and like having the live stream and the practice separate, so that the practice doesn't have to happen in a live stream. But if it does, great. Um, Maybe I'll try that for a little while and see where that goes. Because I've tried the practicing in the stream, and to be honest, it's kind of, and it's not just you. It's kind of hard to think. It's kind of hard to focus when there's the constant thought of, what if somebody's watching? So I thought that might help me focus, because the thought of somebody watching means that when I say I'm gonna sight read, people want to see me sight read, right? So that I do what I say I'm gonna do. I thought that might help me focus, and it theoretically might, but it hasn't so far. So maybe that's not gonna work. Um, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. um, yeah, I think I'll get my practice for the day done before the live stream, so I feel less pressure on the live stream. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm not gonna stop streaming. That's the main thing. Because simply streaming a little bit every day is like an excuse to sit at the piano, which keeps me playing something every day. So, a warm up, we can call it. Yes, a warm up. Because, like, I'd imagine most people probably wouldn't want to watch a bunch of scales. I could be wrong. Maybe people do. The other thought was also, I want to log my progress in music so people can actually, the people who really want to learn can see where I came from and really get into depth of it, because there's often like a barrier between like your favorite artist and then how they got to where they are. And so as I'm building what is hopefully a career in music, can't say if it'll actually take off or not, my goal was to make it, for the people who wanted to see it, really clear how I got to where I got to, right? So that if somebody else wanted to repeat it, they'd have the best chance at repeating it, because they would see in depth the day to day. So that's kind of the point of the live streams, is like, if you wanted to see what my practice routine was, then you watch the live streams. And then you're like, oh, this is what he practiced every day to get to XYZ point that I haven't gotten to yet, right? But of course, because the other thing I've learned is you can't perfectly predict what method's gonna work for you. Oh, I have an error on my stream. What's going on? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Oh, so my Wi-Fi is going bad. I see. It's been a bit glitchy, but mostly okay. Ah, I see. Okay. Anyways, I don't remember what I was saying. Practice, streaming. Oh, yeah. I wanted to give people like a more in-depth day-to-day what I did. as like a log, so that if people wanted to see where I came from, they could, and it wasn't just curated in like, do this practice routine every day and you'll be amazing. Because those videos that even like those videos that even the best musicians make, because we're human and we're biased, people will inevitably remember the past through a different lens than what they had when they were in it. That's just almost a human rule of life. That's something that humans just do. And I already know I'm going to do that. I'm going to probably give a skewed answer on what I did to get where I want to in the future. So knowing that, the live streams were basically like a objective fact. This is what I did every day, regardless of what I say I did. This is actually what I did. So that like there's no room for argument, even with myself, right? So, because even I reflect on the first 7 years of learning piano, that I honestly kind of don't know how I got to where I am. It doesn't, like I already said, it doesn't feel real. Just feel like I was just like, boom, now you're here. I'm like, what? Okay. But there's a couple key things that I remember. Like, I practiced a lot of scales incessantly. I would sit at the piano and just kind of noodle around, just kind of having fun. And I watched a lot of Jacob Collier videos. Those are like a couple key things I remember. But in terms of like what did I do every day, I have no clue. I did something, obviously. A lot of the times I did nothing. I know that. A lot of the times I wouldn't practice piano at all. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't not, or doesn't mean you should not practice to get better. Because another thing I know for a fact that I did a lot of is I listened to music every day. Every day. Every day I listen to music. And so like there's a couple of key things like that. Oh, and I don't mean just listen to music in the background. I mean like active listening, which like the asking questions thing I talk about, where when you listen to music, you actively think about what you're hearing, and kind of like what I do is I think, I wonder what the bass is doing, like what, and I'll focus in on the bass. And what your brain literally does is it kind of isolates the bass from other things, and so you hear more of the bass line. And then re-listen to the same song, do that with the vocals. Be like, I'm going to listen to the vocals this time. And then listen to it again, and then re-listen to it again with the piano, and re-listen to it again with the guitar. Just do that over and over and over again, so that each song you listen to about like 20 times. And in order to do that, the way I did that is I just did that with songs I really liked. Because I would have gone absolutely insane if I did that with songs I didn't like. Right? But to get back on track, that's another one of the things I've done to get to where I am. And I genuinely believe that developed my ear a lot. So all of those things, at some point, I'll probably put into a video and talk about those things. But I feel a little bit like I'm at a plateau where I'm like not sure how to get better, not sure what I should get better at, which is kind of, it's a very common intermediate problem where you're like, okay, I know enough of the basics to generally make stuff sound good, but I don't know where to go from here, right? And I personally have a lot of things missing in my basics, like sight reading, for example. But I basically want to show people that even when you're stuck, you can get unstuck and then get out of that plateau and then get exponential progress again, even if it doesn't feel possible. So all of that are reasons why I want to live stream, not just having fun, but also just like the practice, regimented practice. But there is no such thing as the fake world. This is real. What I'm doing is real. So I can't tell myself, oh, these live streams don't count. They do count. It's how I'm spending my time right now, right? This is real. So rather than, because that's another, man, I'm really talking a lot. That's another bad thought process I had, is I would feel like, oh, this feels fake. And that's why I hate the phrase "in the real world" or whatever, because there is no real world. It just, or there is no fake world. There's only the real world, and everything is the real world. There's just different levels of real, right? And in that sense, it's fairly relative. So like somebody living in poverty, the real world to them is far different than like Jeff Bezos or something. Their real worlds aren't even remotely the same, and their struggles are not remotely the same.